Hi, I'm Chris Herbert. We are standing at the entrance of the Berlin exhibition in collaboration with Coil Winding and APC Media. We have several interviews with leading players in the transformer industry. Come and join me and see what we are up to. We are privileged to have Nirav Patel, Executive Director responsible for global sales and marketing with us today on the Coil Winding APC interview platform. Nirav, welcome. Great to have you here. Yash has been here. Thank you very much. Yash has been in the news and has been catching substantial headlines over the last 18, 24 months. Would you like to start off by telling us a little bit of the journey of Yash?
Certainly. So Chris, we at Yash Highvoltage Limited, India, are a manufacturer of niche condenser-graded transformer bushings, catering since the last 20 years to the upper segment or the niche segment of the power transmission and generation industry. The company was incorporated in 2002. With very humble beginnings. My 4 engineers who were technocrats and experienced with this product over a long career, and primarily began with manufacturing of high current or large current bushings in the initial days. And ever since then, we've been continuously adding several products and offerings to cater to different markets and different end requirements. The present management took over the company in 2008. The managing director and the promoter, Mr. Keyur Shah, he has been with the company and driving growth and excellence and innovation since 2008. So for the past almost 18 years now, the company has been registering phenomenal growth and innovation in both in terms of product offerings as well as geographical reach. Today, Yash is a very unique solution provider. Many call us also a one-stop shop for various offerings on transformer bushings, whether it is oil-to-oil, oil-to-air, oil-to air-to-air bushings, wall bushings, catering for the IEC markets, the IEEE markets, the European markets. And with more than 40,000 products now supplied across 60 plus countries across the world, I believe our footprint is expanding very fast.
Nirav, in terms of your product range, you referred to that. You produce mostly high current bushings, high voltage. What products do you have? Would you like to reflect on that?
Yes, I'd be happy to elaborate a little bit on that, Chris. So for the OIP condenser bushings, we produce from the voltage range 24 kV up to 245 kV with several different variations. We have the OIP bushings compatible for the IEC 60137 standards. However, we have also developed special range of bushings for the US market, for the IEEE range, compliant with the C57 standards of the US, up to, again, 230 kV, with the gray porcelain insulators, and specifically for the IEEE market with the potential tap and with the longer CT space to comply with the dimensional standards and requirements of the IEEE. In addition, we have also developed a very special range of bushings for the European context, more compatible with the French norms and the French standard, which are also popularly known as the shorter tail end bushings, and they've been very popular in this market for several years. Some of the prominent OEMs have been producing and selling them for several years. So when we moved to Europe, this was one requirement that came up several times from many OEMs, that even though we do have a standard offering per IEC, they would want us to develop something compatible with what they are with what they're using from the existing supplier and the standard. The flexibility that Yash possesses in design and development of products also came into picture here because within a very short period of time, we were able to develop and offer this special range of bushings for the European market. And now we are executing several orders for many prominent OEMs in this market. In addition, Yash also offers variations on insulators. For example, we have the OIP bushings with silicone insulators for the polymeric insulators for certain customers who prefer that over porcelain for some distinct advantages offered by silicone. And then we also offer oil-to-oil bushings and wall bushings for different applications. So Yash is, in my view, a unique supplier with high current bushings for generation, OIP bushings for transmission, as well as special purpose bushings for wall and oil-to-oil applications.
You're also very unique in the sense that you offer a retrofit option. Your competitors do not have this. Would you like to reflect on the retrofit options and solutions you offer to existing and potential customers?
Yeah. So I would say our competitors may have a different way of looking at this because retrofits usually require a high amount of flexibility in terms of tooling, development, engineering, design, and also to manage the economies of scale because most of the times the retrofit bushings require very small amounts or so very small quantities. But then when you develop the parts or procure the specialized parts to meet with that, then you have to risk purchase and you have to deal with minimum order quantities of suppliers. This is somewhere Yash excels on how we manage the entire development process. In terms of this, Yash is a unique solution provider wherein we not only are able to provide custom engineered and interchangeably made to order retrofit bushings for customers. May it be any old bushing, any make, any design. Yash has offered several of these solutions and developed them for specific customer needs. But we are also able to, in case the customer do not possess the specifications or the drawings readily, we are able to visit the customer site and by measurement derive the requirement to retrofit the bushing. So we've done a lot of those as well. We do that continuously in India as well as abroad for many of our export customers. And we've offered some very, very unique retrofit solutions for customers who could not find a replacement or a spare bushing, which was maybe a legacy design or 25 or 30 years old. And now the transformer is still running, but they do not have the bushing to keep going with it. So in such precarious situations and scenarios, Yash is a unique solution provider which has come to the rescue and has succeeded in creating a customer delight for several of our customers. Yes.
So despite the fact that you are quite a distance away from Europe, you are capable to respond within a very, very short time, utilizing your existing network of agents and service operators that can give you the required support and freedom of mind if you procure one of the Yash products, despite the fact that it is not a product currently manufactured in Europe.
Yes, Chris, we have a very wide network of agents. We have more or less more than 30 agents in various countries across the Europe, the Americas, the Latin Americas, as well as the Southeast Asia and as far as Australia. So this is one thing that we are also very confident about because our agents are not simply sales and marketing companies, but also in their own right, they are engineering companies, and most of them possess the technical expertise to respond and to follow our guidelines and to support the customer.
2024 has been quite a watershed year for Yash.
Yeah.
You listed on the stock exchange. That implied a complete different dynamic. Would you like to share with us the reason for this and the success of the listing?
Yes, Chris, that was a a landmark or a milestone moment for a company, for a small manufacturer who has come up from very humble beginnings. And we've always had this dream that we would like to place Yash amongst the well-known and the topmost, amongst the topmost condenser bushing brands globally someday. And this was a major step towards that because Yash had initially been an OIP bushing and a high current bushing manufacturer. And when it came to 2016, about 8 or 9 years back, continuing with the innovative approach that the management has always taken, we were the pioneers to localize the manufacturing of dry RIP bushings also in India under technology licensed by our partners in Switzerland, Moser Glaser, wherein we used to, and we still do, we assemble, we procure the RIP active parts from Moser Glaser and we assemble them in India, test them and sell them for the Indian market. Now what Yash is doing as the next step is to meet up with the rapidly rising demand globally for rib bushings and wrist bushings. We went public last year and got listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange, the premier exchange of India. And the IPO was a bumper listing, 170 times oversubscribed. So we were really, really happy with the response. So we've established now a second unit, a brand new factory in India, wherein we are in process of developing our own complete technology for dry RIP and RIS bushings up to 400 kV, post which Yash will have an additional large capacity and an independent capability to produce and sell RIP bushings.
You've already commenced and have progressed a substantial distance in procuring new land in one of the most sought-after industrial parks in Baroda.
Yeah.
You've already started with the factory.
Yeah.
When do you expect the factory construction to be completed? And when do you hope to have the equipment installed and start with the prototypes?
Chris, in succession, if I tell you, the construction is actually progressing at a rapid pace. And we expect the building to be ready by the end of this calendar year. The equipment will also start coming in towards the end of the year, in the last quarter of the year, and we'll begin with the installation parallel to the building completion. Post which, in quick succession, will be the development of the first prototypes, and we expect the standard ratings, 4 or 5 of them, the high runners, to be ready and type tested by the third quarter of the calendar 26, and then from the fourth quarter onwards, I think should be available for the industry.
So the RIP range would be similar to what you are currently offering in terms of OIP, up to 245 kV. Is that correct?
Yes. However, today the OIP range is capable and caterable for several different applications and standards, which is also the goal with the RIP range, up to 245 kV in the phase 1. But not only limited to IEC, also extendable for the EN as well as the IEEE standards. And then in the phase 2, ramping it up to higher voltages, 400 or 550 kV, which is the ultimate goal, because we are building the factory with the capability of producing and testing bushings up to 550 kV. That's the size that we are building right now with that capacity in mind. And the other exciting part about this is that it will not only be the RIP, but also the RIS, which is also popularly known as resin-impregnated synthetic bushings. So we'll have capability to produce both.
Excellent.
Yes.
In terms of the supply chain, if you speak to everybody in the transformer industry, there is one central theme in agreement that the supply chain is under pressure.
Yes.
What is your current lead times?
Well, they've grown slightly than they used to be. We used to be probably amongst the fastest originally. However, still I would say the standard OIP solutions are available anywhere between 16 to 20 weeks ex works from the date of the order. And we are continuously working on expanding our supply chains. For the OIP bushings, fortunately, 98% of our supply chain is well established in India, and we hardly have to rely on any imports. And we are still adding more suppliers within the country and developing them in order to be, to be able to cater to the rising demand. In terms of RIP as well, we've been able to successfully develop some additional suppliers, which is helping us meet the increasing needs for the market, and we are sure to be able to continue doing so in the future.
Yash has been quite active in developing new markets. It has been clearly visible. If you have to talk to current and prospective customers, what would your message be?
Well, our message would be that Yash is today now geared up for larger volumes. We have successfully upgraded the existing OIP bushing factory last year to add almost double the capacity of bushing production, which earlier used to be close to 6,000 units annually, and now we have the capability to produce close to 10 to 12,000 units annually of varied range. We have spare capacity, we have the supply chain set up, and we have the the ability to execute more and more bushings and meet the large volume demands. So we would invite all our distinguished customers to evaluate our capabilities. For those who do not consider us yet, for sure we are open to share and make our credentials and our information available for them. And for those who already are our existing patrons, to give them the right amount of confidence that we are prepared and geared up to meet the rising demand.
The transformer industry is experiencing an unbelievable period of growth.
Yeah.
Huge demand, and there are a number of ways in determining the longevity of this demand and this particular cycle. One would be to speak to the end users. Another would be to speak to the transformer manufacturers. But perhaps a better way would be to speak to the suppliers of transformer components and auxiliary equipment. Studies indicate that the growth should be between 8 and 10%. Many argue that it is above 10%. What would be the experience within Yash?
Well, this is a great time to be in the transmission and generation industry. I can tell you that, Chris. It's definitely a growth that is unexpected, unprecedented. And I, from my personal experience and what we are seeing today, I wouldn't be surprised if the growth could be much beyond that 10% over the next 5 to 7 years at least. I would say the numbers which we are seeing today are believable. And we are seeing that in terms of also the large order backlogs and the order volumes and just the tremendous amount of projects and infrastructure development which is going on not only in India but also globally for the data centers and the EVs and so many other renewables and other projects. So I believe this is true, and fortunately for us, we are in the right place in the right time.
Yash has participated in coil winding Berlin on a number of occasions in a number of years. The last 2 years, you've participated in your own standalone exhibition stand to great success. What has your experience been in terms of Coil Winding 2025?
Well, Chris, it's been a tremendous experience. You know, we have seen a very good response from the global transformer industry here at Coil Winding, which I believe is one of the, if not the best stage to be at if you want to develop and establish your brand in the European context as well as a global brand. So in line with Yash's vision to be established and be recognized as a global player in the transformer bushings landscape, Coil Winding has been a great platform for us for almost the last decade that we've been visiting here and coming here and co-exhibiting with partners in the past. The last 2 years, Yash has participated with our independent stand or independent booth, and we have seen an excellent interest from all the patrons and OEMs and utilities who are either the existing customers or potential customers from not only Europe but also as far as the Americas and the Latin Americas, wherein a lot of the visitors from these regions also are present here, and we are able to capitalize and meet with them. There's this other great thing that they've done this year is to create the Transformers Hall, wherein all the suppliers and the supply value chain related to power transformers and transmission T&D have been put in the same hall, and this has also created a lot of value in my view and my opinion, and also the special the pavilion that they've created, which enables the visitors to go through the entire show and sort of give the exposure to each and every exhibitor, and the opportunity for more connections is also an excellent initiative according to me. So we are very happy to be here and look forward to continuing being here.
A question on your agencies.
Yes.
You've reflected on the number worldwide. Perhaps a very important point to stand still is also the agreement which you've concluded with Weidmann.
Yes.
Weidmann is well renowned and expected in the industry for a number of reasons. One of the most important is their insulation material. Would you like to reflect on that?
Yeah, they are a very well-known group. The more I could say about them would be less. However, we've been fortunate enough to partner with them as our representatives for several European and North African countries. And this has been part of a key strategic plan of Yash, as well as, it fit the strategy of Weidmann to collaborate with synergy and collaborate with partners who do not have any conflict of interest, but only can work together and grow together. So we are very glad that we have been able to have this partnership with Weidmann now for Europe as well as North Africa, some countries in Europe, and I only see the path going up and forward from here.
Yash has recently established an office in the United States. Would you like to reflect on that?
Yes. Again, to take forward our strategic goals to be a global player, and the U.S. is a preferred end destination for power transformers and transmission equipment from all over the world. And we certainly, also want to be a part of this growth journey with our IEEE bushing solutions, which are in a very, very high demand in those markets. Part of that is also to establish a local sales and marketing office, which is the beginning for us to be available for the U.S. customers and the several utilities there who would like to know more about us. And what better to, rather than having a local resource there who is experienced and can answer and respond to them better and faster. So that is the beginning of our involvement in the US, and going forward, we'd like to do much more than that.
In conclusion,
Yes.
what does the future hold for Yash?
Well, Chris, like I shared with you earlier, we have a vision to be recognized amongst the topmost brands for bushings, not only in India but globally. And to align with that, the first phase for us was to establish good sales channels and channels with agents and reference networks. But eventually, I see Yash as a player who would be able to produce in several geographies and not only India, the transformer bushing solutions, to increase our reach and also to make our products and technology locally available for the plethora of customers in different geographies. So I see in the long run Yash as a global player with multiple manufacturing capabilities and multiple geographies.
Nirav Patel, Executive Director of Yash, thank you very much on behalf of Coil Winding and APC. Bright future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.